Hi, I'm Asha from Skate Fresh. Welcome to Brighton. Today's video is for beginner quad skaters. Several tips and must-do practices if you're just getting started in roller skating. So tip number one, do up your skates correctly. Let me show you what I mean. So what most people do is they grab their laces and they just pull. Now, if you're wondering why I've got two sets of laces here, it's because I bought them online and when they arrived, they were too short. So I then got a second set. So normally you'd probably have one set of laces. So don't just pull them at the top. I want you to start at the bottom, pull the bottom set of crosses, pull each set nice and tightly. Yeah, and you really want to feel that your skate is, look at that, nice and tight on your foot. The reason for that is when your foot starts moving inside your skate with conscious movements, you want that to move your skate. So tight, and I would do it nice and tight at the bottom and then take it up with your crosses, yeah? And even up the ankle, particularly up the ankle, is where you want to have that support, okay? Bit trickier with gloves on, but it's still very chilly in the UK. So once you've got that nice and tight, so now you can see that there's, all of this is actually nice and snug, all right? If you can get your finger underneath any of your lace crosses, they're too loose. Start again from the bottom, okay? So that's really the most important place to start. If your skates are not tightly on your foot, you're not gonna have any control. So tip number two, super important. Where should your weight be on your skates? Now, most people have their weight kind of equally spaced between the front, middle, and the back, like they would on their feet. This is incorrect for skating. You want to bend, keep your body upright, and bend your knees forwards over your toes. Your weight should be on the front half of your skate, and your heels should be lighter. This is the absolute reason why quads have a heel. It's in order to push your weight more onto the front part of your skate. So in this position, shoulder over hip, yeah, not leaning forwards. Your weight is on the front of your skate. It's almost impossible to fall over backwards in this position, okay? So what most beginners get wrong is they do this. Watch my knees. Their knees come up, the butt goes back, and the body hinges forwards a little bit. So now my shoulder is in front of my hip. Yeah, my back of my butt is behind my heels, whereas it should be directly above the heels. Over the heels, okay? So this is the position you should be, beginning to stride in and actually moving in, yeah? We shouldn't be rolling along in this kind of position. Most beginners will stride something that looks like this. Doesn't look as nice either, does it? So tip number three, how do we actually get going? So most beginners can make the mistake of kind of stepping forwards as if they're kind of walking on skates. You don't want to do that. So instead, you've got your knee bend. I want you to imagine a pizza slice shape. So heels in, toes out. Now, pizza slice is exactly that kind of shape. It's not this or this, okay? So toes in, heels out, and then just step up and down without stepping forward. So little short steps, pizza, 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 and then cruise with your feet parallel once you've got a bit of speed, okay? So let's go back the other way, and I want you to just watch again how now my knees are over my toes in the position we learnt in tip number two, yeah, and my butt is not hanging out the back, okay? So even this sort of ready position that I showed you previously, that remains when you're striding, yeah? We don't want the butt to stick out the back and the body to lean forwards, okay? So tip number four, you need to really choose where you're going to skate very carefully. Quads, more than inlines, are very sensitive to rough surfaces. They were not designed for outdoors. They were ultimately designed for the roller disco inside. So look at this surface, very bumpy. And you can see when I start skating, oh, it's absolutely terrible to skate on, okay? Contrast that to this tarmac here, and I can now skate much, much more easily. So really pay very, very close attention to where you're going to skate. Not just surface, but also camber and slope. If I was a beginner and I was learning to skate down here, I'm suddenly accelerating because there's a slope in this direction, okay? So really stick to smooth and flat surfaces, particularly when you're getting started. And finally, the last tip, wear protective gear and a helmet when you get started. Now, wrist and knee pads, I think, should be the minimum protection that beginners should wear. Now, why am I not wearing knee pads? Because I'm always on video and in class and teaching people. I want people to see the very front of my kneecaps and how and where they are in relation to my skates. That's why, that's the reason I don't wear knee pads when I'm teaching. But I believe as beginners, you should. Now, when you're wearing knee pads and wrist guards, just having them on means that if you're in trouble, you're much more likely to fall over forwards rather than backwards. Yeah, the only protection we have when we fall backwards is our butts, and to be honest, your coccyx is not protected at all. And backward falls are the ones that can be really nasty. So make sure when you've got your wrist guards on, you have the round bit in the palm of your hand and the long bit going down your arm. Yeah, and you can even wear your gloves underneath. Helmet, really good idea when you're a beginner. Quad skaters are much more likely to go over backwards than inline skaters. Our wheelbase is shorter on quads. Yeah, so literally, as soon as your weight goes behind your heel, you're much more likely to go over backwards. Okay, so please wear some protective gear. It's amazing how many people can get injured by not doing so. And as I said, wearing protective gear is going to encourage you unconsciously to fall forwards rather than backwards. So even if you do fall, you're not going to do yourself any harm. Okay, so I hope these tips helped. However, these were super quick, just to give you a few ideas. I have a proper beginner guide on my website, skatefresh.com. If you look at the beginner training for quads, there are 2 lessons there, which I highly recommend every beginner does, including a bunch of stuff to do on the grass before you get started. So check that out at skatefresh.com and come and subscribe to me on YouTube. So see you next time and happy skating. Bye-bye.